זה החודש טוב וחנוכה שמח. Parshat MIketz, we read about Yosef becoming now the viceroy of the biggest superpower at the time, of Egypt. And the Torah tells us that after he was released from jail and he married Osnat, he had 2 children. And the Torah goes out of its way to tell us why he gave those children those names. He called his firstborn Menashe, and he says, "Kenashani Elohim mikol amali," that Hashem caused me to forget all my to get all my toil. And Rashi explains that there's a deep what it really means is that Hashem, or that's also what the pasuk says, that he was remarking that Hashem helped him now through his success to forget his father's home. And that's a shocking statement that Yosef should call his son, which gives him such joy that each time he mentions it, no, Baruch Hashem, I've forgotten now my father's home. How painful can that be? So the Mephoshim actually explained what he really meant to say was that after everything that he went through, and now the pain, despite the fact that he's now one of the heads or the superpower of at that time, so that wouldn't take away his sense of longing to his father's home. So that's why I called him Menashe, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't cause me to forget my home, but that it caused me to forget a sense of longing, of missing my home. And that way I'm able to function, but not that Chas v'Chalila, he was blessing Hashem that he'd forgotten his home. It means that the sense of, as I say, missing home, that was taken away from him. Then the second son he calls Ephraim. And the Torah says, Kifrani be'eretz oni. And this is remarkable that the second son he calls Ephraim because Hashem has blessed him. Hashem has caused him to develop. And he calls now the place where he's the ruler, he calls it Eretz Onyi, the land of my affliction. Now, why would he call that? I mean, Egypt has been so good to him. He's made such a success. Why would he call it Eretz Onyi, the place of my affliction? Egypt. I mean, he's the person who's now come like the immigrants to America in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and they made a success. What they call America the place of my affliction. There's an interesting explanation, which of one of the Mephoshim. Just for a second, I've just forgot who it was. Is it the Kli Yakar, or is it? I think it's a Fuskuni, who says, why did he call him Ephraim? So he says that, in other words, first of all, I'm sorry, but I'm just going to explain why he used the word Ephraim in the plural. And then I'll come back to answer the question why he's referring to to Egypt as a place of my affliction when Egypt has just been so good to him that has actually ensured his success. So the Cheskuni is one of the Rishonim. He explains as follows, that the word Ephraim is double, and it's plural. And he had in mind that to call his child for his grandparents, great-grandparents, his great-grandparents, his grandparents, great-parents, Abraham and Yitzchak, who both referred to themselves, or they were both referred to as dust. When Abraham negotiated with Hashem about storm, he said, Ani afar va'efer. Who am I? Just a person of dust who can contend with you, Hashem Almighty, who's the creator of the world. So Abraham referred to him as Ephraim, as Efer. Yitzchak, because he was the one who was prepared to give over his life on the Mizbeach. He's always referred to as someone who Hashem sees his dust, his ashes on the Mizbeach. It's as if it actually occurred. So therefore, to get back to the point, so Yosef calls his son Ephraim as a reminder you know what, I'm successful, I've really made it, I'm a person who can want anything more. And he reminds himself that he comes from a lineage which are very humble, people like Abraham, Yitzchak, who gave their all in order to spread Yiddishkeit in the world. And that's why he refers it also as to the country of my affliction. What he wanted to do was that he wanted to give some sort of a reminder to himself that not to get lost in his success. And I think of like I referred beforehand to the American Galut, the Golden Medina. And I remember I wanted to share with you just like two matters concerning that Golden Medina, even though I was only there for a year and a half. I remember that when the famous author Herman Wouk, what he did was he got the Pulitzer Prize, and it was quoted in Time magazine. I've actually cut out the part. And when writing about him, they said the incredible thing about Herman Wouk, this is the people, non-Jews are speaking, is that he didn't go in the route of his fellow Jews who were successful. He says here was a fellow Jew who made it to the top, and yet he was orthodox. That's how they put it. He didn't revolt against the laws of kashrut. He didn't revolt against the things of Shabbat. He didn't feel ashamed in any way to be orthodox. And that's actually what is happening over here with Yosef. On a lighter note, it always reminds me of also Jackie Mason's clip. I can say Jackie, unfortunately, Zichrono Livracha, in which he used to poke fun against certain types of Jews in America. People who speak the whole time, Jews who speak so much about Jewish pride. And he says, but if you're so proud that you're Jewish, so how come you always change your names? He's got this page about how do you call a Jew? Says, well, what do you call yourself? Tiffany Schwartz. And you, what do you call yourself? Crucifix Cohen. So this is what Yosef was trying to avoid, that a person to make for themselves at the time of the success, at the time when things are going well, to make like mental reminders. And it applies this tactic applies across the board. I end off with something which is more local. You know that this is a very famous matter, that one of the heads of the Mossad, Shin Bet Dagan, he had a picture in his office of a Nazi beating one of his relatives. This massive, massive picture in his office. And that's how I would come to work every single day. And Dafka now, when we think that he thought, when I'm not, and Baruch Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu has blessed us, has blessed the state of Israel, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has brought such miracles to us, but that's what Dagan did. At the time of success, to remember, there's times that God forbid, chas v'chalila, it wasn't always like that. Or chas v'chalila, things can turn a little bit for the worse, God forbid. So therefore, to remind himself each time, that was a picture that he had on the wall. So this is the great message that Yosef and others throughout the ages said that Jews, when they come to a galut or they come to a place where they are successful, to make these reminders, to remember the Chasdei Hashem. Shabbat Shalom to the Kulam. Be well.